everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 194. We're three of the four Kansas connection today. So I hate this part. On probably here is Keith from New Zealand,
Oh,
Attack from Down Under, and of course, Down Under is another one from New Zealand, Steve from Rock and Metal Invasion. How are you guys doing today?
great.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Dan.
Good, thank you.
So we're missing Kevin today. He had to work, so we'll try and figure something out. I'm not sure if he's going to be here this week, or if he is, probably going to be at the end. I'll tag something at the end of this episode here. Before we start off, Steve, while we were waiting for you, speaking of Down Under, when I first joined the Zoom call, Keith literally had his camera upside down. I was like, what the hell? I know you guys are on the other side of the equator, but he literally was. I couldn't stop laughing. Anyway, so today this is Keith's idea. We will be talking about three albums we have in our collection that we love the music, but the artwork or the cover is just total shite. And there's Keith's gone. Speaking of, there you stop playing around.
Then it's green screen.
Yeah, it's probably better than.
So Keith, why don't you tell us about your idea here?
Okay. What is that I thought what I'd do is you've got a couple of these ones I'm going to show are like debut albums, and you've worked hard in the studio, you polished it, and you've got something really good to present. And right at the end of that, you say, well, do you think it'd be a good idea? What are we going to do for the artwork? Why don't we just give the tapes to the record company, and they can come up with they'll come up with really good album art or something like this. We'll trust them because they don't do anything wrong, do they? Or something like why don't we? I know somebody in the band. My girlfriend, she knows somebody that goes to art school. We'll let them do the cover. So basically, what I'm talking about is you've got fantastic music coming out, but then what lets it down is a travesty of artwork, or you could call it, like you said, shit.
You wrote shit. Wait, in his defense, he wrote S asterisk asterisk T. So
yeah.
All right.
So I'll explain. Shall I do my first one?
Go ahead. It was your idea.
Okay.
So you go nuts.
As an example, I was just talking about someone's girlfriend in the band came up with a concept for an album cover. This one is a Riot. And yeah.
I don't own any Riot, but oh my God, many of their albums would have been on my list.
I've got a few, and it didn't just stop with one, did it? There's like probably about 5 or 6 you could use. But Riot Roxy, this came out in 77. So I think it was one of the friends of the band came up with, why don't we do a seal? She likes seals, and put it on a human body there. That'll look fantastic, won't it?
A lot of people say, why wasn't that band any bigger? There's the reason that I was thrown off as a kid. I saw those and I was like, come on.
Yeah.
It's like a seal centaur, it's got man, and it's probably before Photoshop, and it's not a clean picture. But the album, the first two especially, they're easy to get into. I mean, if you listen to the music, they instantly grab you. But I can see how that would just put off.
I find they're a great band. My friend Yan loves this band. He's got all of them.
I do too.
I have Fire Down Below and Restless Breed. Is that the one?
I think I've got that one.
The one with Swords and Tequila. That's the worst one. The worst cover.
Is that one?
Yeah, that one. Oh my God, that still's got that thing on it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But as for the vocals, you got Guy Speranza, Rhett Forrest, really good vocals. It's just operatic power metal, and they're going up. They've had about 5 vocalists, and they're still going, and all the music right through. It's a really fun catalog to listen to. Is really good.
Mm.
But yeah,
Great pick. Great pick.
Yeah, great example. Yeah.
but then
Because, back in the day, back in the 80s, all you had was the album cover sometimes to go on. So you'd look at it and go, because you didn't have.
Is he frozen on us?
I think he might have done. I thought it might have been me frozen.
Have Spotify or anything like. You couldn't often hear the music, so you just go on what it looked like, and you're like, nah.
So instead of Eddie, they've got Teal.
I think they were trying to make that. I think they were trying to make that their mascot, that seal.
Yeah, his name's Teal.
That was the idea.
His name's Teal Riot backwards. But
Jeez.
I've actually grown to love him.
I mean, it is what it is there. But yeah, that's what threw me off as a kid. I was like, I didn't want nothing to do with that because of those album covers. So, but anyway.
I think that's
All right,
the poster
good
child
choice.
for bad covers.
By the way, Steve, you were chopping up a little bit there or when you were explaining there, just
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, what's would be your choice, my friend?
About basically an album cover that if you looked at it, it wouldn't be an indication of the music that's actually on the record. It's a debut album, and it's by a band called Fierce Heart, and this came out in 1985. So basically, the front cover is it's really not good. You don't even know a Fierce Heart. What is that? Is that the name of the band? Is that the name of the album? It's just Fierce Heart. That's all you've got. So you don't really know. And then, yeah, I mean, I don't know how clear it is. It's not even clear. I'm looking at it right now. What is going on in this picture? But it's like some sort of creature, like maybe it's a dog. That's a weird looking dog. And then there's this like other dog. I think if it's a dog, there's like a head of something here. I mean, honestly, did they actually like employ someone to do the picture, or like, did someone see this picture and go, "Hey, this is"?
I have no idea what I'm looking at
cover.
here.
So
Okay, I see it.
like,
I see it now. Yeah, I see the
dog's
dog
got-
now.
The dog's got like bones in his teeth. So it's, I mean, obviously you're wondering, so is this like a heavy album? I guess it looks a little bit aggressive and Fierce Heart and stuff, but it's really hard to know. It could be any kind of music. And then the back cover totally doesn't help because it's just that. It's just black with the song titles. That's all you've got. So, I mean, yeah, I used to read the song titles. Does this sound like a heavy metal kind of album or hard rock album? So, Out for Blood, okay, Fierce Heart. So again, they've got a song called Fierce Heart. So I still don't know. Is the band called Fierce Heart, or is the album called Fierce Heart? Because there's a song called Fierce Heart. So you really don't know. You can look on the spine and it just says Fierce Heart. So you're still not really, there's still no information on the back, like Fierce Heart is, or the band. So you just really don't know. And yeah, there's nothing inside. It's just the record inside. But it is really good mid-80s hard rock, very heavy hard rock. We're going close to metal, really. It sort of sounds like Dokken. Rex Carroll does the guitars on this. He's a really good guitar player. He goes on and plays in the Christian hair metal band. I call them a hair metal band, but heavy metal band, whatever you want to call them. White Cross. And this is just this is their only album up until I think like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. They put out their second album. I haven't heard it, but yeah. So Rex Carroll, he's the guitarist, and a guy called Larry Elkins on vocals. He's really good too. Sounds good, and it's just a drum machine. So it says drums and Fairlight programming. Chris Lord Alge, who's like quite a well-known sort of producer, mixer, This must be early days of his career, but yeah, and not surprisingly, it didn't really get much attention back in the day, but it's actually a really good album, but you wouldn't know much by looking at the album cover.
Never heard of that one.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
I was late to discover it, because again, like I was saying, like for me, a lot of the times that I'd buy things back in the day, I'd just be looking at the album covers and looking for basically dudes with long hair, like, and so there's no pictures of the band, so I've got no idea, right? So, but no, it's worth checking out. I know that doing a little bit of research on this, Rex Carroll, the guitarist, he said, yeah, we knew the album cover was rubbish, and the record company said, oh yeah, we'll change it, but they never did, and that was it. And yeah.
So now, do we know the band name is Furious Heart?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. Yeah, it is. But there's no
back then,
information on there that tells you that. Yeah.
All right, good show. I've never heard of that.
No, it is worth checking out though for the music, just like Riot, right? Good music. It's actually kind of similar.
Amazing music.
Like Riot.
Oh, Riot, Riot's good. Yeah.
So it's very similar to Riot, actually, very similar sound. But yeah.
All right, good choice. Okay, this one, maybe Steve can actually help. This is a question I've actually asked the internet. What the F happened to this album cover? So this album cover, Steve loves this band. I know I do too. There's two album covers. The good album cover only exists on cassette. But the bad album cover is CD, now vinyl, now reissued vinyl. So I'm talking about this beauty here. Have any of you seen the original album? You know which one I'm talking about? The original album cover with the two hands?
Yeah.
Wasn't that gorgeous? And then they keep...
Well, it's better than that one.
What's that?
Well, it's better than that one.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
I'm looking online. I'm like, why was this decided to be the album cover for? And the new reissues. It's this one again, also, right? Those new reissues that just came out. I'm like, this is.
But you wouldn't want to change it though now, because
everyone knows it from that.
Probably still get upset about it because they want the original.
Wouldn't that have been an incentive to actually get the Dokken box set though?
Just going to cut out for a sec.
Yeah. I would have gotten it had it had the original album cover. I have no idea why this was changed. I was hoping maybe you would know, but
no, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty. It's pretty obscure sort of knowledge in a way that people would even know about the cassette cover. Because
that's how I got it in the first place. Was on a cassette.
Yeah. Okay. Mm.
And then when I switched from cassette to CDs, I could only find this. I looked so hard to find the black one with the cool cover, and I'm like, until this day, like I've actually asked my friend Mitch Lafon, who talks with Dokken members, like, do you actually know why? Even they don't know why. Apparently, why this has changed. So yeah, to me, this is my favorite Dokken album. But my God, the artwork. Well, I wouldn't even consider this artwork. I consider it a really bad copy paste job. Like I'm looking at the hand. This is terrible. But anyway, if anybody out there knows why this was actually changed from the cool cover to this crap one, let us know. So anyway,
what is it? It's like some sort of monster's hand coming out of the water or something?
I guess it's the same monster hands, those two hands like that there on the original.
Yeah.
It's one coming out of water, but the water is like it's like the water is made out of tin foil.
Yeah. And on the cassette it looks a lot better, doesn't it? Because it's just shaped so a lot more.
It's actually classy. I find this just to be and nobody ever said Dokken had really cool videos back then. This really did not help. So anyway, that's my vote with Tooth and Nail by Dokken. There's two covers out there, and they keep putting out the bad one.
Mm.
So there you go, Mr. Keith.
Okay, for my next one, similar thing. When you look at the cover, it doesn't scream out what the music is about. Some things you pick up and you know straight away this is going to be a heavy metal album. Some things you just look at and it could go either way. It could really be anything. So the one that I've got is Scanner, and it's Terminal Earth.
Is that a cartoon? I'm not.
I know it's a cartoon. You look at that, and you don't think it's going to be power metal. You know, it's like maybe on a. If you're being generous, you say it could be on a heavy metal compilation, but they do like sci-fi themed metal.
Can you put the face of the robot? I'm just curious to see
Oh yeah,
if I'm seeing what I'm.
a dog's peeing on them. Basically, there's like little jokes in it.
Wow. Like from far away, it kind of looks like the soundtrack to a Care Bears movie or something.
Like a cartoon, if you're reading the paper or something, there'd be like, yeah, nice. But so this is their second album. This came out in Noise Records in 1989. Their first album is more metal and more sci-fi. Thought of that cover. If you saw that,
I think my friend had that.
and that's an awesome album. It's too. This is a brilliant album. It's got a song on "Touch the Light," which just sounds like, you know, Halloween. Another song is "The Law," which is like, if you can think of, if you know Anthrax, "I Am the Law." It's sort of that sort of thing, type thing. These are the guys on the band there.
Well, at least they're on the back cover. That would help, eh? So you could turn it over and at least see. Okay.
See, okay, this might be something I could be interested in, unlike your one there, Steve.
Yeah.
So that's S.L. Cohen vocals, and Axel Julius and Tom Sofa are on guitars there. But this, like I was saying, you don't need, you get it straight away. You don't, you know, it's not one you have to work out to like. You put it on your turntable and it's a good one.
All right, I've heard the name for that band, but I don't know the music.
Yeah. Oh, check them out. Yeah.
With that cover, yeah, I'm right on it.
Yeah. It dissuades you. A lot of these, you know, like I don't know. I wouldn't have, if I saw that one that Steve had, I would have thought, oh, okay.
All
right, Mr. Steve.
Okay, so my next one is a bit of an interesting one because I kind of liked the cover, or didn't mind the cover when I first saw it, and it's Legs Diamond and Town Bad Girl.
I love that cover.
Yeah. So I got to be careful what I say here. I thought, yeah, she looks pretty hot, and you know, she's a bad girl, obviously, because that's the name of the title. And it's like, okay, yeah, all right. And you know, it's hair metal kind of thing, and you're kind of used to that sort of stuff on your album covers. But then I had now she's only been on my show once, but I had Mrs. Rock and Metal Invasion on my show once.
Yeah, yes.
And she talked about this cover, and she saw the cover in a completely different way. She saw this woman has been like abused and is like, you know, been sort of left outside with hardly any clothes on. And actually now when I look at it, it does look a bit like that. You know, she's not smiling. She's just got a jacket on basically and boots, and she's kind of looking up like something, maybe like you don't really know, you know, what's happened. So she's kind of ruined the album cover for me a little bit. And obviously too, you probably, in these days, you couldn't put an album cover out like this,
no.
Right? Yeah, you just couldn't do it. But I think it's, I guess I'm not saying it's a bad album cover, but I don't think it's a good album cover now, you know. So I think now it's not a good one. I think that, it's too open to interpretation about what's going on here. And I think though, if you go back to when this came out in 1990, it wasn't meant to be sinister or anything like that. It was just meant to be, hey, here's a sexy girl and she's a bad girl, but she's out for a good time sort of thing. But yeah, I think now it's not a good album cover. But
I just
yeah.
think it's in bad taste.
Yeah.
But I still really love that cover, especially the inside, especially the inside sleeve where the town bad girl is covering up. It isn't covering up exactly.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's the more uncensored one. Yeah, uncensored version. Yeah, true. Yeah.
My question with that would be, did the record company pick that, or did the band pick it? But if there's an inlay inside that's got a similar picture, I would suggest that the band.
I'm gonna go with the band.
Yeah,
because we all know.
Yeah, Dan.
What's that?
Oh, I was just going to say, I didn't even know about the because this is the same picture, isn't it? Except that I didn't even know about that. But it's the same picture, except that the town is kind of over the nipple area here.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah, so then it's but yeah, I didn't know that.
I when I do episodes with sexist album covers, I really do a lot of research. Let me put it that way.
Oh yeah, I love your Video Babes one. That was great. I did a lot of research after that one. Like you're putting up their names, like, oh, okay, right.
Yes.
What other music videos have they done? Yeah.
Exactly.
Because there was one that wasn't there one you were trying to find or something? It was like, oh, who's this? I don't know. I tried to help you, but.
Well, we'll do a part 3 one day just to get the.
Yeah.
But I do love. I will agree. It's in bad taste. It's like it's tacky. But what I was gonna say is, I bet you it's the band that decided for that album cover, because remember Bon Jovi's "Slippery When Wet," and then the company was like, "You actually want to sell records or not?" And they changed it, and look what happened with "Slippery When Wet." That wasn't gonna sell to a female audience with the girl with the yellow. Well,
yeah,
call it a shirt, but when he's wearing not much but a shirt there. But anyway. So I often wonder, like sometimes with bands, like even with their music videos, like and even recent ones, like you see sometimes they put out a music video and they're quite gory and they're like blood or something, and I kind of think it's an interesting choice because that you're not going to get played on. I don't know. I guess they're not getting played on TV anyway, but there could be restrictions on your video if and I don't know. You want people to buy your albums, but. It is. Or depends what channel. Like, remember those Helix videos? Those were made for the Playboy channel. So it depends on what. But that was just nudity, though.
Right. Yeah. Actually, it was interesting. I was listening to Rob Halford was on a podcast a few days ago, and he was talking about the band. He did that band Two.
Yeah.
It's like industrial metal, and he the record company said to him that there wasn't enough in the music video they did. There wasn't enough nudity or anything like that. And Rob Halford was like, well, we want it to actually get on MTV, don't we? We don't want it to get it banned. Yeah. And the record company said, yes, we want it to be banned. This will be great publicity, So
that album got publicity for all the wrong reasons, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But anyway. Okay. My next one will be about total laziness. I absolutely love this album, but the picture on it is what you would call lazy. So I'm not sure if you guys know what this is from, but Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. First of all, this is a terrible album cover. But do you guys know where this picture is from?
No,
I don't.
So this is Alice's second album when he went solo, when the Alice Cooper group. So just Google Alice Cooper $1 Billion Babies, maybe photo shoot. So there's a picture of the 5 band members, and Alice Cooper's holding a little baby. And it's this exact photo from 2-3 years before. And they're like, hell, he looks so good in that photo there. So this is actually taken from a photo of the Alice Cooper band 3-4 years before. And they said, okay, we'll just crop out the whole band and then do this. And I'm like, okay, like I love this album, but this every time somebody looks at it, they're like God, that's terrible. I'm like, do you actually know where this is from? So yeah, just Google. I think it's $1 Billion Babies. Actually, you know what? I'll put the picture when I edit there if I can remember there. But yeah, this is just total laziness. Doesn't really ruin the album for me, but a lot of people were like, ugh, that's just disgusting. Bad album cover there. So anyway, doesn't go ahead.
It doesn't really make sense, because if he's going to hell, wouldn't it make sense to have a red banner across the top and
pretty much
flames
like, there's
his
nothing
face, instead of green a green face? He's all hulked up,
Yeah, it just makes no sense. It's taken from a photo that I don't know. They're like they probably spent all their money on the recording. I'm like, oh my god, we forgot about the album cover. What do we do? We'll just look for old photos. I don't know. But yeah, that's terrible for me. That's my choice right there.
Yes, I mean it's kind of bad, and then when you find out later on, it's also lazy, right? Because they already had it. They just used an old photo. It's not like they even took a photo of him, and it wasn't that it's not that great an album cover, but they just
yeah. I thought it was on the inside. I forget where I saw that picture. I thought it was on the inside of the $1 Billion Babies, but I looked at my album. Mind you, it's a used copy, so there might be missing some inserts. But I was like, it kind of excused it a little bit. But yeah, this is just total laziness. Like, wow, talk about not really doing anything for your album cover right there. So anyway, there you go. Mr. Keith, what do we got for your last one?
For my final bit, that sort of just segues nice into just what you're saying with the laziness. I've got a bit of a bugbear with album covers.
A what?
And a bit of a bugbear with certain type of album covers, the things I don't like.
Okay.
And it is when a band uses their logo as an album cover. Just their logo blown up instead of doing a proper art or even a bit of photography up. So Aerosmith do it on some of their albums, and Blink-182, and this is another band from the 90s that did it. Life in Agony. And
is that their logo?
This is their first album, and that's sort of their logo that's on a lot of things. River Runs Red. I'll show you. I've got a box set there, and I don't know if you can see that, but there's other two.
They're all like that almost.
That one's a bit better, but it's a similar. But with the 90s, with a lot of the dark themes, this has actually got some color in it, which isn't too bad. I've got so many CDs over there from the 90s that sort of dark themed music, and they're all a bit murky and all a bit dark for the photography.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think they could have done better with this. So this, I don't know if you know this metal band from New York, formed in 1989. Oh, sorry, formed in 1989. Keith Caputo was the singer. He's now known as Mina Caputo. Just really good alternative metal, and Mina now, has got a quality in the voice that just works in really well with the whole band. Quite a sad sounding element to the voice, and this is quite a dark album about a teenager from a troubled household.
Well, with the title,
it tells a story. Driven to there's little interludes in it about the horrible home life and things like this. But this has always rung true to me, that the with the vocals and the interludes and the music, just it's a really good 90s album. So that yeah, just with the I never liked the cover art for that. I think they could have done better, but the music is fantastic on that release.
What
A
I'm
classic
thinking of,
album.
like when you were talking, like, you know, I don't know if you guys have Great White. You know, the first one, which is Great White, Great White, Great. It's all black with just a
Mm.
logo, like something like that. Keith,
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
think of what else. Well, the second Van Halen is just a lot of Van
Mm.
Halen albums actually. Now that I think about it, have just a logo. But
Yeah, I mean, AC/DC Back in Black really is just, but I guess it's a bit different, isn't it?
that one's kind of excusable because
Yeah,
the title.
And the sort of story behind it.
Yeah, the idea behind it there.
Mm.
Okay, well, yeah, that's another. I almost put
Yeah.
that Great White because you made me think.
Yeah.
I almost put that Great White because that to me is just
That's a great one, Dan, because when I got that Great White album, I actually thought, oh, this must be a promo copy. Like, this is not the real album.
exactly.
I thought it must be this is just the promo or something, but no, it's like that's the actual album. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's got a picture of the band at the back, but otherwise the front is just Great White, and it's
Look like a copy of an album you can get in a cereal box or something.
yeah, weird.
It's almost like the band thinks, oh, we're big enough now that everybody knows us, and we don't have to go to much effort. We just put our name on it, and it'll sell, type thing. And
Oh,
Mm.
that's a little
But
lazy.
not when it's your debut.
Yeah. Well, Great
Yeah,
White
that
was
was
a
a
debut,
debut.
but Life of Agony, that wasn't their debut, was it?
yeah, it was. Yeah, that
It
was.
was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Scratch that then.
Now, some of they have other albums that have they've gone to an effort. Like, that's probably a better one. But
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Steve, what would be your last one?
Okay, for my last one, I'm gonna cheat just a little bit, and I'm gonna show basically this artist's whole discography, or pretty much everything that they put out, because they're all bad. So this is 1, 2, this is 4, and the artist I'm talking about is Fiona. So she's like hard rock, female fronted hard rock. So from the 80s. Actually, this one came out in '92. This is I think she may have gone and put out an album in the 2000s as
She's
well.
got one in
but
the
I don't have that.
2000s, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that one. This is pretty much the last one on the major label. And this is actually the first one I found. And it's amazing that I picked this up and got this. I'm not sure what it was that made me realize, hold on, I think I should check this out. Because, I mean, look at the cover. It's like, it looks like two couples, right? Like, but this is the band members, right? And that's Fiona there. And yeah, there's no information really that helps much on the back. They're just, except Fiona's now looking at the camera. But that guy, I think it's Dave Marshall, something like that is his name. He goes on and plays in Vince Neil's band, on his solo band. I think this may have been what made me think, I should probably get it. Now, again, they're still kissing and cuddling, but the guys look a little bit more, they look a bit hair metal, right? So I think I may have seen that and thought, okay, maybe I should check this out. But yeah, and that's Jimmy DeGrasso.
Really?
Of course. Yeah. So, he's been in Y&T and Megadeth. Yeah. So, and this is probably my favorite Fiona album. I mean, it's very commercial. It's very melodic, but yeah, if you like that sort of AOR hard rock, not too heavy, it still rocks. It's pretty good. But yeah, the album cover, not good. And I think part of her problem is that she didn't really have an image that told you that, she's not a pop star. Because if you look at her first couple of albums, she looks like Madonna, right? So there's this one. She could be a pop, but it's not. It's produced by Boho.
That looks like Tiffany's first album cover.
Or Tiffany, or
that's what I thought.
Cyndi Lauper. Like, there she is there.
That looks like Amy Grant's album cover.
Amy Grant, yeah.
Yeah, but it's hard rock. You know, there's good hard rock stuff on here. And this is probably her best one because at least she looks a bit angry on this one, and then on the
Yeah.
back she's like stomping the ground. So it's a bit better. She's not looking so pretty, if you know what I mean. So and this is the one that's got Kip Winger on it too. Everything you do, you're sexing me, which is classic. I mean, who doesn't love that one?
That's the only one I have.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a bit better, but yeah.
I don't remember. We actually talked about her one time. I think I was on your channel way back when we first met.
Yeah,
Or
sure.
female fronted bands, and I brought Fiona, and then you showed those two albums with, and I was like, oh my god, I couldn't believe that one there where she's jumping up there.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah.
yeah, that doesn't
Yeah.
look hard rock at all.
Yeah, no.
So
But anyway, I think she was in a relationship with Bo Hill at one point. Yeah, but yeah.
all right, well, my next one will be I don't really love the album. I like it a lot there. But when I first saw it, I went, and this is 2019. So fairly recent. Now you guys might want to wear shades when I show you the album cover. But when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, what the hell? So I don't know if you guys remember seeing this, Hollywood Vampires Rise. It really, oh my God, the video really, first of all, it's, there you go, you can see the glare right there. It's gold on, I'm going to say salmon color. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, what is that? Like, and then my friend Steph and the other Steph, I remember like, did you get the new Hollywood Vampires? Because we're big Alice Cooper fans. And he's like, yeah, but what the hell is it with that album cover? And I don't know. I can't even take this seriously. Like it's just like, but you could actually put this like on your front lawn if you're missing a light bulb. I don't know. In your I don't know. Just too bright, too. I'm not gonna say lazy. I mean it's embossed. It's cool. There's some embossing right here, but
I put some thought into it.
there's no thought. Like the first one was like pretty classy with the like it's like a book, a big large book / Bible there, and then this comes out as like I first went, oh my God, like. But yeah, it's I'm not even sure what the inside looks like. Well, it's a little bit better there, but the back. But yeah, this. I'm just having way too much fun there putting this in the light here for you guys. Anyway, terrible album cover. But I do like the album a lot. There's some great songs on. Like I was like, oh my God, because the first one was just mostly covers or all covers. This, except for 2 songs, this one is actually all originals and hardly maybe 1 or 2 covers there. But yeah, there's some great songs on that. But I just can't get past that album cover. It's terrible, I would say in French.
That's 2 Alice Coopers you've had on your album cover.
Yeah, oh yeah, I didn't realize it until you just mentioned that. So I was like, okay, which one do I show? Because I got a couple of honorable mentions, but we'll that could be for another. Yeah, that was but it's 1975 to a point. I'm not saying it's excusable, but like, come on, like with today's technology, there's no excuse for that. It's just like, ugh. So anyway, that's my third and final pick right there. You guys got any honorable mentions you want to show?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
The three that I showed were the ones that just came to mind straight away, and then
all good, Mr. Keith.
But
all good.
do you like the early Alice Cooper band album covers? The early ones?
They're
the one with the guy's finger, he sticks his finger up It makes it look like
That yeah, I don't have that version. That was censored
okay.
way. Well, Pretty's for You is just terrible album cover and terrible album. School's Out's a desk. It was about the gimmick. Bill and Double Babies is a wallet. Muscle of Love, whether you like it or not, it's actually a genius album cover. It's a cardboard box there. I don't have a problem with them. I have a problem
Flush
with that Goes to Hell.
Flush the Fashion.
I almost put Flush the Fashion when I was looking at my albums yesterday, but I was like, it's ugly, but it's artsy, and I was like, okay, I'm passable.
It's a bit slippery with wet as well, I would suggest.
What?
It's a bit slippery with wet, like they've sort of just smeared the name and yeah.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
See, my brain went automatically to breasts and thought about the original, the original slippery when wet. Yes, I know exactly. So
the traditional one, but the most people know.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. There you go. My bad. Bad Dan. Okay. You, Steve, you got any honorable mentions?
Yeah, I'll just quickly. I've got 3, just quick ones. So Cinderella, Night Songs. I actually don't hate the album cover. It's just I don't feel like it represents the band. Like it's pretty good hair metal kind of album cover, but Mark Weiss, I think, is the guy, the photographer. He's a good photographer. He's put out a great book quite recently too. Some great photos in it. And it's really, really clever the way they've done this in the studio and all that kind of stuff. But I just think they look too glammed up, and they're actually more straight up sort of AC/DC meets Aerosmith kind of. They're not a Poison type band. They're actually quite heavy at times. So I just think it misrepresented the band a little bit, and they got it right on the next album. Van Halen, Dive It Down. It's just like, supposedly, I think this is the flag or something.
There's a reason for that. It's when you have something below. I had to go and look it up.
Yeah,
like there's something in the water, so there's like I forget the whole, but it makes sense.
This is the naval signal or something like that. But it makes sense. Like if you know that sort of stuff. Otherwise, you just think, really. And especially when it's an album that's got like 5 cover songs on it, it's like you really haven't put much effort in. You know what I mean? That's what it gives you that impression. I know some people like this album, and another reason too I didn't choose this one is because the idea was an album you love, but you don't like the album. I don't love this. But it's what I'm always going to like Van Halen because Eddie on guitar. It's like whatever, he could do anything almost, except maybe album number 3. But yeah, this is just a good one because there are too many cover songs on it. But, yeah. And the last one, Y&T, Down for the Count. I just think
I almost put that one also.
Yeah,
I don't love the album.
That's terrible at the back too. I mean, they're trying to be all hair metal look, glam look, but I mean, it's not. They just They need. When I talked about this band recently on my channel, like someone needed to help them out. They got it much better on the next album. They obviously had some help with their fashion sense, but not so good on the back, and the front cover is just
I just find it's a terrible artwork on that one.
Yeah,
I almost put it, but I don't like it enough to put it there. But
well, that's another thing as well. The album's okay, but it's not an album I love. So
But your Cinderella one, of their 4 albums, that look is on the right album, if you know what I mean there.
Oh, totally. Yeah, totally. It is. That their sound is more. It is more like this look than, because on the next album they go into the blues a lot more. That's right.
Because when you bought it at the time, I saw, like, again, everybody looked like that back in that time.
Yeah.
When I first saw the album, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, okay, cool.
Yeah.
No,
that's right.
Album I must like.
Yeah. And I think sort of everyone toned their image down a little bit, like Poison did, and a lot of those bands toned it down but like basically Cinderella almost disowned this whole look right after.
Big time.
Yeah. So anyway,
One album. It lasted one album. That was it.
yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I like your background there, Dan. I like the albums you got in your little background up there. Yeah.
I put that for you.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's another inside joke if you're on
Inside joke,
Instagram.
Yeah.
See, that's my little Chrissy Steele magnet to whatever there, Keith.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have Back in Black.
I was asking
forgot
about
they
not
were
having
there.
Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction, but he's got Chrissy Steele.
Yes.
And,
I know I have Appetite for Destruction now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So now I'm moving on to AC/DC albums.
You know
He's
me,
only
I
got
actually
two
started
AC/DC.
with ACDC last week.
Yeah.
So I'm getting there.
Flick of the Switch. Flick of the Switch would be an example of a bad album
That-
cover.
I actually
and
was listening
Fly
to
on the
that
Wall.
today.
Yeah.
It's a good album, really good album, but
It's
Fly
good.
on the Wall.
That's a good one to mention, Keith. Yeah, I was going to mention that too. Actually, that I was going to mention it to Dan because he had it on his Instagram yesterday or the day before, and I was thinking of saying actually that could be one for today's show because I mean AC/DC, their album covers aren't great, but that's probably one of the worst.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
All right, I'll just go with my. I'll just go show a couple of honorable mentions here. I'm going to go with. I'm going to compare it to another album, and maybe Steve may know what I'm talking about. I'm going to go with Danko Jones' "We Sweat Blood." This looks like a demo or a bootleg. I didn't even buy this at the time. I thought this was terrible, and this reminds me of. I think you have it, Steve. It's a Doro. Is it Machine to Machine? Kind of looks like a bootleg demo. I just like when I first saw this, I'm like, okay, is this a bootleg live album? Like he just came out. I'm like, no, it's actually a new album. I was like, oh my god, like talk about. I know. I just find it. This was lazy, low budget, great album. It's got my favorite Danko Jones song on it, but yeah, this terrible lazy here. And
Was that one of their first albums, Dan?
it would be their second. Well,
Oh, yeah.
their first one is like a collection of bunch of singles. Born a Lion is their first one, which has got a classy, cool orange album cover. And then this came out. I was like, well, okay. So
But
technically,
there's blood going down his hand, right?
yeah, it's
that right?
We Sweat Blood.
Oh, okay, right. I see. Yeah, so he's sweating blood, right?
But it's like, come on, it's a cheap photograph. Like it's like the back cover looks a lot better than the front cover, if you ask me. There, I never liked this one here.
Mm.
And last one here. Great band, love this guys, but the first album just screams porno movie. Have you guys do you guys have that have you seen this version here? Because there's two versions of this album.
No.
There's one
No.
with like a monolith like Stonehenge. So this is Triumph's first album, and you look at it just screams porno movie, right? Like 70s porno movie. And I'm looking
Especially
at
with the guy's moustache like that. Yeah.
what's that?
Especially with the guy's moustache like he's
Yeah.
got it.
Well, yeah, look at this guy's Gilmore's got the greased up hair in the back. Not too bad but they're all wearing no shirts there. Anyway, I just thought this was pretty yuck.
That was a bit of a thing though in the 70s. There's a few album covers like that where the band's like
Heaps.
topless,
Yeah.
front cover. Yeah. Oh.
I know. But it's you see them on album covers, or not album covers, but well, even the back picture kind of looks a little bit better.
Yeah.
It's just like they're all they're all in like oiled up too. I don't know if you can see this there, and they're literally all oiled up and wet, and looks like they just came back from a 3-man orgy or something. I don't know.
And it'd look better if Fiona was in the middle.
Yes. But anyway, all right. So that's our little episode there. Thank you, Keith, for this great subject here. I'll say this again. If you guys have some ideas for us to tackle as a subject, let us know. Hopefully also Kevin can join us next time. We'll see. maybe we'll see if he's tagged at the end of this episode. I don't know yet. He's a busy man right now there. So, but before we go off, once again, we're here. But when we record it, I know Keith's going to be there. So don't forget to go subscribe to Keith's channel, Attack from Down Under. Also, my friend Steve, who actually just celebrated 400 subscribers.
Wow.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
Anyway, Rocket Metal Invasion. I'll also put Kevin's channel also, who actually just got 200 subscribers maybe a month ago or something like that there. So let's go, Keith.
Help. Anybody.
Yeah. But yeah, Keith got some good stuff too, and so does Steve there. So go check out their links. I'm going to put that on the bottom there. So once again, thank you guys for joining us. And we shall see you guys next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.
See ya.